Let's take a look at setting up an animation of converting an object to wireframe so that it looks like the object is transforming into a wireframe version of itself. Okay, so we'll use this object right here, this little tessellated sphere, as our demo object, and I've created another version of it called Wireball here, and I just made it red. It's the exact same object, and it's just red. So we're going to use that later. So let's send this over to layout. Okay, and let's go to camera view, which is 6 on the keyboard, and we'll just have this animate over, let's just say 30 frames. Okay, and at frame 15, at the halfway point, we'll set a keyframe, and at frame 0 we'll have it come over here, and at frame 30 we'll have it come over here. Okay, so if we go to our perspective view, we can see that these are 2-meter grid. This is a 2-meter square because down here it says grid 2 meters. So 2 meters, 4, 6. Just roughly, we'll just get it over all the way to 6. And then we'll do the same thing here. So 2, 4, 6. That works. Okay, so it's 6 meters on this side of the origin and 6 meters on this side of the origin. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have this object, as it passes through the center point, convert to wireframe. Okay, so to do that, let's add a null, and I'm just going to call this dist for distance, and we'll just leave it here in the center. Let's grab this this ball object, go over to Object, Properties, and under the Render tab for Clip Map, let's go ahead and open up the texture editor for that. And for layer type, let's use a gradient. For the input parameter, let's choose distance to object, and we'll use the object that we just made, the distance null. Okay, and so when it's 0 meters away, when it's right on top of it, we'll have that 100%. So that means that it's going to clip it, it's going to erase it 100%. And then let's change the end to 6 meters, and let's say that at 6 meters it's going to be black, which is 0 clipping. Okay, and we can adjust this as we see fit, but let's go ahead and use that texture, and we'll go to camera view, and we'll just do a quick render, say at frame 5. Okay, because of the lighting, we could change the lighting. I'm just going to change the background. It'll make it that much easier to see. We'll go to Window, Backdrop Options, and I'm going to kill your eyes for a second. I'm just going to do yellow. Okay, and we'll do a render. Okay, so we've got the whole object there. If I go to frame 10, it starts to eat away that object. Let's go ahead and turn on double-sided as well. So we'll go to the surface editor, and for that ball, we'll do double-sided. Do a render, and now we can see inside as well. So it's eating it away. At frame 15, it's 100% gone. At frame 20, it's starting to come back, and at frame, let's just say 25, 26, we've got the whole ball. Okay, so we got the part of it eating away, but we want it to convert into a wireframe. Okay, so what we can do is take this object and clone it. So I'm just going to clone one copy. Okay, so ball 2 is doing the exact same thing. Okay, so that just saves me the time of setting up the same animation. With that ball selected, I'm going to replace with object and choose the wireframe ball, which is the red ball. Now they're both on top of each other. Okay, and all we need to do is invert what's going on with the red. So let's go to Object, Properties, Clip Map, and we're going to invert the keys. So let's close that down, and let's take a look at a render. We'll come over to frame 10 and F9, and so we've got red and blue. I'm actually going to change the light just so we can see it a little bit better. So light, Y for rotate. Okay, that'll be better. Okay, come over to frame 10, do a render, and we're changing it from red, from blue to red as it passes through. But what we can also do, so you could have two different textures, and you could use this as a setup of changing that, and as it goes, when it gets to frame 15, it's all red, and then as it gets to 25, it's all blue. When it gets to say 20, it's red and blue. Okay, but what we're after is we want this to be wireframe and this to be the shaded view like this. So what we can do is move over to the surface editor, and for the surface, for the wireframe ball, the red ball, we can go over to the Advanced tab, Render Outlines, and we'll get wireframe instead of the blue. Now, it doesn't have to be red. You can make it blue if you want it to match, but what we can also do is take this and change this to a negative value, say like -2.5, oh, not -25, sorry, -0.25. We'll do a small little bending. That's actually too small, so let's do -1. Okay, and it's pretty much the wireframe. If we go bigger, -5, we start getting bigger blocks, but this isn't the look that I want. If I take advantage of the perspective camera, so go to camera properties and change to perspective, I can actually get a much nicer look. It's a more three-dimensional shade on the wireframes using a negative value, but you need to use a camera other than the classic camera, and so perspective camera works for that. And you can go as big on this as you want. So as it passes through, so we'll go back to 0. Okay, we got the blue. We'll go to frame 5. It starts coming into frame. We'll go to frame 10. It starts converting to wireframe. At 15, it's 100% wireframe. At 20, it starts going back into the solid shade, and we've got the wireframe. At 25, we're all back to blue. Okay, so we could animate that and have it converting to wireframe. Okay, and you can have any kind of texture you want on this, and you can have any kind of texture you want on this, and dress it up and give this this neat effect.